let piss rain. On the news this afternoon, lawyer speaks on legitimacy of RISIEC's actions ahead of October 5th council polls. President Tinubu calls for peaceful conduct in Edo governorship elections. INEC unveils new guidelines for recall of elected officials. National Bureau of Statistics says more Nigerians now use rail transport. And on the foreign scene, Rwanda, first African country to administer Mpox vaccines. I'm Ifechuku Moyo with the news. Now, a lawyer living Jamala says there is no legal obstacle stopping the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, from conducting the 5th October local government elections. Mr. Jamala said this on Nigerian Info FM's Hard Facts.
And bad governance protests affected the activities of research. So looking at that alone, you see they have made modifications as to when, collection of forms, as to campaigns, as to submission of forms, as to screening. I'm also aware that screening has been concluded for particular candidates, especially that of the councillorship. RISEC is still working within the guidelines that they have so far provided, with a little modifications.
Mr. Jamala also said RISIEC is planning the local government elections based on the State Law No. 5 of 2018 and not on any amendment by the Martin Amehule-led House of Assembly.
In the little observations I've made, I do not see any reasons to complain negatively about the activities of RISEC. If I'm satisfied with the conduct, whatever will constitute the conduct of that election should be based on the guidelines as provided by RISEC. And I told you I've gone through the 143 sections of the Rivers State Law. I have not seen where it is made mandatory for a RISEC to conduct the elections based on the register supplied by INEC.
Meanwhile, ahead of the 5th October local government elections in Rivers State, some residents of Port Harcourt are concerned that the election could turn violent due to the lingering political crisis in the state. It followed the violence seen last Saturday during the election of officials of Ijo Youth Council (IYC) in Aloma, Port Harcourt. Gunmen are said to have fired sporadically, killing at least 2 people. Police have not confirmed the casualty figure. For the incident renewed concerns of election violence in upcoming council polls in the state.
I've learned how to be resourceful, not only in my house, and also in my academic field. This time resourcefulness has made me to know
insecurity presently is going to affect the local government election, and most especially what happened in Bulletin. So there's a lot of uncertainty going around presently, and that is going to bring a lot of fear. Most places may not come outside for the election because of the insecurity.
To some extent, it won't be a peaceful election because anything can happen.
I'm not sure of the security. What I'm after, so I'm in the leader to make sure that they should mobilize for security that will protect life and property.
As you may know, a new police commissioner, Olufemi Abaniwanda, resumed duty in Rivers State this week. Political tensions have continued in the state since October 2023, especially between the supporters of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and Governor Fubara as they contend for control of their party and the state. Frequent court cases and disputes have kept Rivers State in a position of political contention. In the meantime, members of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party met with the party's caucus in the National Assembly on Thursday over the political crisis in Rivers State. The meeting held behind closed doors was aimed at resolving the internal crisis in the party caused by the rift between Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Now, recall that the members of the BOT had met with Governor Fubara. Also on Tuesday, the BOT held a closed-door meeting with the FCT Minister in Abuja. Elsewhere, President Bola Tinubu has called on all stakeholders in the Edo State governorship elections to conduct themselves peacefully. In a statement by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanoga, the President urged the governorship candidates, political parties and supporters to respect the democratic process and the people's will. He noted that democracy thrives on civility, tolerance, patience and respect for the rules of the game. President Tinubu also expressed confidence in the professionalism and integrity of security agencies and INEC officials and urged them to remain impartial and avoid any actions that could compromise the integrity of the electoral process. Meanwhile, the Edo State government has declared today a work-free day to allow workers and voters to travel to their voting areas ahead of the governorship elections on Saturday. In a statement, the secretary to the state government, Joseph Eboime, assured residents that security measures are in place for a free and fair elections. In another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC says it has received multiple requests from various groups across the country seeking the recall of their representatives in both the National Assembly and State Houses of Assembly. Now, the National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumeko, made this known on Thursday while announcing the new regulations and guidelines for the recall process of elected officials at both the state and federal levels. The 10-page document outlines the procedure for recalling elected representatives, requiring petitioners to submit a request to the INEC chairman. Now, the petition must be signed by more than half of the registered voters in the constituency of the office holder whose recall is being sought. Upon receiving the petition, INEC will verify the signatures to ensure they are registered voters in the constituency before proceeding with a referendum on the recall. In other news, a security expert, Mike Uchechukwuma, believes the key to improving Nigeria's internal security lies in decentralizing the country's security structure. Dr. Uchechukwuma, a retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, told correspondent Makotoka that Nigeria's federal policing system makes security chiefs unaccountable to state governors and the citizens. He said that despite successful administrations in the state providing security agencies with equipment such as vehicles and gunboats, many of these resources are either mismanaged or not used for their intended purposes.
I was in PRO when Peter was governor. I was aware he provided all this good hardware. I was still in service when Political Energy provided. I retired when Governor Wike provided. Ask them to give you a stock of what they provided. And then go and check whether you can see any of them again. If they are in daily workshops, they are repairing them, don't find out. But you find out that you cannot tell us as a journalist. Accountability is the key word here. Let me tell you, I advocated for the decentralization of policing in Nigeria. And I still stand by it. And in Nigeria, the complete decentralization of policing in Nigeria, internal security will remain a miracle.
Dr. Mike Uchechukwuma also expressed doubt that acquiring gunboats for security agencies will solve the issue of insecurity along the waterways. He said citizens have lost trust in providing intelligence to security agencies because they feel excluded from the security structure.
It's point is that providing hardware equipment as gunboats or APCs is not the solution. It's just a surface treatment of the wound. Because the most important thing about security is intelligence gathering and intelligence sharing. Are our people comfortable with the security structure on ground now? Do they have trust and confidence with them as to share information and intelligence with them now? The answer is no. Who are they accountable to? The federal government or the state government? When the state governor goes out of his way to think that he wants to help the people and to list all these hardware, who takes custody of them?
Elsewhere, police say their Electronic Central Motor Registry (ECMR) innovation will ensure that motorists are no longer stopped on the road for verification of vehicle information. The Force Public Relations Officer Olumiyiwa Adejobi said this in a series of posts he shared on X on Thursday to highlight the potential benefit of the ECMR. Now, he said the new system allows vehicle owners to register their vehicles digitally and provides a quick response for emergencies. Still to come, National Bureau of Statistics says more Nigerians now use rail transport. Stay with us.
Hooray! Our leader is +1.
Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
We, the political appointees of Obiakpo local government area, heartily congratulate our leader, Ed Boss, Honorable Ambassador Chijioke Huo, on the auspicious occasion of his birthday anniversary. On this special day, we join your family.
The River State Deputy Governor Ngozi Odo has restated that the state is safe for investment. The Deputy Governor spoke on behalf of Governor Fubara when she hosted the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs in her office on Thursday. In his remarks, the Minister of Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momo, who was represented by the ministry's head of administration, Jesam Ohae, said the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs is poised to ensure the empowerment and speedy development of the Niger Delta region. And now to business. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, says more Nigerians are using rail transport, with revenue rising to 1.69 billion naira in the second quarter of this year. The NBS report shows that it's a 53.14% increase from 1.10 billion naira in the same period of 2023. In 2023, the Nigerian Railway Corporation earned 1.07 billion naira from passengers. And now to entertainment. Embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has reportedly been placed on suicide watch while awaiting trial. The 54-year-old was arrested in New York on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution. After pleading not guilty, he was remanded to Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center and denied bail twice. If found guilty, Mr. Combs could face 15 years with a maximum sentence of life in prison. And now to sports. The Super Eagles of Nigeria remains in 39th place in the latest FIFA World Ranking released on September 19, 2024. They rank 6th in Africa. On the international scene, Rwanda is the first African country to administer Mpox vaccines targeting high-risk individuals. The Africa CDC announced that 300 doses were given on the 17th of September near the border with the DRC, which has seen nearly 22,000 cases and over 700 deaths this year. The DRC will begin its vaccination campaign in early October. Mpox, formerly known as monkeypox, spreads through animals, and close contact can be fatal in some cases. That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. A lawyer has been speaking on the legitimacy of RISIEC's actions ahead of October 5th council polls. President Tinubu calls for peaceful conduct in Edo governorship election. INEC has unveiled new guidelines for recall of elected officials. National Bureau of Statistics says more Nigerians now use rail transport. And on the foreign scene, Rwanda, first African country to administer Mpox vaccines. The news was edited by Constance Iruele Mega. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Ifechuku Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.